Welcome back to the Retro Game Redux podcast. It's episode 17. I'm Scuba and I'm joined today by, as always, Kirblet.
What's going on?
How's it going, Kirb? And we have a hop on today. If you didn't already know, special guest Jimmichanga from the Jimmichanga88 Twitch channel. Welcome, Jimmy.
The Changa Zone himself.
The Changa Zone. I'm here. Yes. What's up, guys?
Welcome. How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing good. Glad to be back.
Glad to see you as always.
Yeah, Jimmy messaged me after the last episode. He's like, man, you were talking about Castlevania 3. I feel like we could have had some good conversation. I'm like, well, funny you mention it. I would love to have you on the show again, as with Curb. So 3 is always more fun. I think the laughs start flowing, and yeah,
3 is perfect company.
Looser format, but gooder times.
I'll just be the wild card. It'll be fine.
What's new with you guys? You been playing any games?
Well, yes, I've actually, as a matter of fact, I got some of my Christmas money spent and had some games come in earlier this week. And I started, since I started streaming as of yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had a stream the other night, right?
And I missed
playing. Yeah, and I started playing Super Mario Wonder.
Yo, how are you liking it?
It is dripping with charm. Oh my god.
It's pretty awesome, right?
It's so good. It's so charming and wholesome, and I love it.
How could you hate on Super Mario Wonder? It's
it's very hard. It's very, very hard.
You can have quibbles with it, but I don't see how anyone doesn't think that's just a very fun game for the whole family.
Mm-hmm. It won the Family Game of the Year at the Game Awards for a reason.
Exactly.
And it was just it was readily apparent how much I'm gonna love this game.
Yeah, game is such a jam, dude. Like, just played it immediately when it came out. Didn't want to stream it, but I just played it, and I was like, man, this game is so good.
Yeah, some games you want to keep for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like that with a lot of games now. It's just like, I just kind of want to chill and not have to worry about being good.
Isn't it fun to just be like, I can just play this and it can be like my little secret. I could just do this and play it how I want, take how long I want.
But how fucked up is that? Like 4 years ago, that was the norm. And then COVID hit, and I guess all three of us started streaming around the same time. And a lot of people did, just like nothing to fucking do.
Right.
So let's go on Twitch and play some of our favorite games to take our mind off how the world might be ending.
Right. Life will never be the same again.
Yeah, but stuff's kind of back to normal now, and most of the viewers are kind of gone.
They're back to normal now. Yeah.
Maybe they come back and say hi once. Oh, you're still here. You're still streaming. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
It's been so long.
I'm going to keep streaming. I don't care. I streamed to no one for many years, so it's just great. It's just back to old times.
More excuses to play games. I mean, the more the better.
Oh my god, I do not need any more excuses to play video games. I think I'm how do you guys feel about the concept of video game addiction? Where do you feel like you are on the video game addiction thing, if we can get real for 1 sec? Okay, let's say between 0 and 5. 0 is I can stop whenever I want, and I don't really play them that much. And 5 is I'm always thinking about it. I need to do it as soon as possible, and possibly need to just offset the stuff I actually need to do in my life to play these games. That's almost where I'm at, unfortunately.
Man, I don't know. I'm I would say a 3 or a 4 because.
Damn it!
Hang you out to dry on that one, man.
Commiseration here.
That's all you, man.
He loves company, apparently.
I'm always wanting to play. There's I want to play a game or something, but sometimes I'll be honest, I just don't feel like playing it. Just I'm just gonna relax on the couch or watch some TV or whatever it may be.
Yeah,
I'm not buying a ton of games that I never play. I have a few in the backlog, but yeah, it's I can't stop when I want to.
Okay, well, it must be nice.
Yeah.
Curb, where are you at with that?
I think I'm about a 4. I think for me, though, it's more about the quality of game versus the quantity of game as far as what I choose to play, and when.
Okay, but choose to play implies that you can stop whenever you want.
Yeah, I could, but when I choose a quality game, it's very hard to put down.
Dude,
I think that's part of the addiction of it. It's like when I get a really good game, I'm in like Flint.
Tears of the Kingdom is that game.
That is one of several games that'll do that for me. That'll keep me going. Yeah.
There's a reason I haven't played it since the summer. And it's not because it's not good. It's because I can either play Tears of the Kingdom or I can live the rest of my life.
It's that dangerous.
Yeah. That's all I could think about when I was playing that game, man. Just like, I just want to play more. Like, I'm going to call off of work, and I'm just... I didn't do that, but, that was a 5. That was a 5 at the time.
Yeah, for sure, man.
When you're having to call off work just to play the games, oh man, to be a teenager again, I remember friends would call out of work, on midnight releases of really hyped up popular games.
So you can camp out at GameStop and get your copy at midnight. Is that
or more like binge when you first get it and you binge just like screw it, I'm not going into work. Are you kidding me? I'm having too much fun with this. No, it's like it's like that day off work that you plan to call in for.
Yeah, like my life now is set up like just because of what I do for my work. It's like I'm either busy 18 hours a day with work, or I'm busy 0 hours a day, and there's kind of no in between.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time for gaming, and it's not like well, I get to play all these games. It's like I have nothing to do. Might as well play some video games. And then when work starts, it's like, but my video games. This money is good, but what about Tears of the Kingdom?
but video games.
Speaking of addiction, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Jimmy!
I was reaching for my beer when you said that.
Oh no! Brewskis are a lovely treat that no one can ever get addicted to. We're not talking about your brewskis, Jimmy. Jimmy, I need to talk to you about something that I started doing recently.
Oh man!
Because I saw you do it. I'm like, oh, that looks like fun. I want to do that.
So sorry.
Jimmy got me into collecting Pokemon cards.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
If you know me, if you've watched me play Pokemon, I never played it as a kid. I'm too old for fucking Pokemon. It came out when I was like almost through high school. and then like I played it on stream and I'm like, what is this children's gambling game? Like, this is ridiculous.
So good.
Wow.
It's really just like a nice little time waster. It's like, oh, I might catch this one. I might catch that one. But really, the hard drug version is collecting the trading cards, like playing the actual card game, which, thankfully that passed me right by. But, I was kind of now nostalgic for 2 years ago when I was playing Pokemon Yellow. And I found out that Pokemon 151, what is it? It's a special edition of Scarlet and Violet. Jimmy, what is this?
It's one of the sets. It's one of the sets. So like every generation of Pokemon, when the new games come out, then they have the new generation of cards, and they do like 10 sets or something, some number, and they every few months they're releasing a new set. But yeah, 151 was like the last set.
Right.
A couple sets ago, and it's only the original 151 Pokemon.
Yeah, and the appeal to me is like, I know all of these Pokemon.
Yeah. You completed the decks, man. You did it.
Yo, I caught every one when I played. It was really fun, actually.
No wonder you didn't want to play another Pokemon game.
Yeah, I mean, I caught them all. There's no more to catch, right? Oh no, they add hundreds more every year or whatever. How many Pokemon are there now?
I wonder if has it surpassed the 1,000 mark as far as the number of Pokemon?
Has.
Oh my
god! I'm gonna throw a number like 1,096, something crazy like that.
Oh man,
That is literally a drug at that point. Anyway, it's fun. It's low stakes gambling.
Yeah.
I bought a couple boxes, I guess, and and I'm like, Jimmy, you want to watch me open? He's like, yeah. So we're in the Discord. I'm like,
an unboxing stream.
I got a goal bat. I got an E-Cans, aka Skane. Just remembering what I named them all. But it's fun. Wow. It's like, I don't know. I got a couple that are worth $8 apparently. But none of the super fancy ones. Yeah, a couple bangers. So
yeah, I don't play Pokemon card games anymore, but my wife still has her cards.
I just want to be clear. I still don't even know how to play the game. I just collect the cards.
We can teach you. Like
I don't want to know. Bro, I don't want to wreck my cards. These are in near mint condition. I'm going to get them graded.
Get some card protectors, man.
Trust me, I have them. I'm like, Jimmy, what kind of sleeves should I get?
I sent him links to all the paraphernalia, so he's got it all. It's fine.
It's literally drug paraphernalia.
Dang it, Jimmy! Now you sent him on a dark path. Now,
let me clarify. I did not tell him to do this. Okay,
no,
but I know it was because of me, and I'm sorry about that.
Okay, but it's like, when you see your friends smoking in the schoolyard, you're like, hey, what's that? I'm just having a cigarette.
You can get a box of them for like 100 of them on Amazon.
Gotta smoke them all.
See, Jimmy, now you're just enabling him.
This whole show is already off the rails in a very good way, I think.
This is what happens when we have guests on.
Yeah. Okay,
that's all good.
So yeah, collecting Pokemon. Anything else? Any other appetizer stuff we want to talk about before we get into the main courses of today?
There is one thing I wanted to talk about. I remember last week and the week before, I think we were talking about console hacks and how you installed one on your Super NES. So I just wanted to
console hacks. You mean console mods, right?
Console mods.
Yeah. Okay.
Did I say hacks? Okay, I meant mods. So, we've kind of showcased some of the good kind of mods, and how you put them in successfully, and I just wanted to showcase something a bit on the opposite side of the spectrum, so to speak. There is and me and Jimmy discovered this, and it was on YouTube, and I couldn't help but I saw it on Twitter, and then I checked out the YouTube video. But this someone made a Frankenstein Nintendo PlayStation, so to speak, and it is horrid looking.
Whoa! Do you have a picture of this?
I have a video. It's in our doc here.
Okay, I need to look at this one.
You need to look at this because this is insane looking.
So this is fan made.
Someone fan made this. Basically, what they did was they took a Sony PlayStation that really wasn't working, and they got it working, and they put it inside a Super Famicom shell, like a Japanese/European Super Famicom shell.
Oh, okay. All right. I see.
The thumbnail alone tells you all you need to know.
The disc goes in with the cartridge.
It goes vertical,
spins and everything, and it works.
Hey, it works. How is that changed? It's
works.
Amazing.
It works. It's an actual functioning PlayStation. Oh my God, the process though, it's Frankenstein, because you're literally the engineering is sound, but the engineering process is a horror fest. This would have been perfectly acceptable to save for a Halloween episode of this podcast. But I couldn't help but share this right now.
Yeah.
Because it's just that out there.
Have you seen It's amazing. Have you seen the one where the guy makes the smallest GameCube imaginable?
No, I haven't. I'll have to look that up.
It's like the size of my fist.
Oh my God.
He cut down the board and just we don't need this part, and we don't just cut off the part of the PCB, I think.
This guy does the same thing. He just does it with an angle grinder.
Ugh.
And every time he brings it out, I cringe. Like I die a little inside. Every time he brought out the angle grinder and showed it on screen being used to modify this thing or to cut out parts and stuff. Oh, the clean engineering side of me was horrified.
I just want to remind you that it works, though.
It works.
So
Have you
I'm not
tried
discounting it.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Right. It just shows how like copious amounts of hot glued and crack engineering, can still make things work.
Hell yeah.
It's insane. I do recommend you we'll link it in our description, for after the show. We'll link that because it's so worth a look. It just got released a couple days ago, this video, and it's just insane.
Okay.
Disgusting.
Well, I want to check this out. I'll check it out when we're not recording the podcast.
Awesome.
But okay, so let's get into our main courses.
Yes.
This has been coming up in my targeted ads for the last couple weeks now.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys, first of all, I'm sure we all have our collection of legally obtained backup games for our, so we
Right.
can play them portably and on our computer and wherever we want.
Yes.
And we all know that ultimately these games are, licensed by Nintendo, and they have the Nintendo seal of approval or the PlayStation seal of approval or whatever.
Mhm.
But did you know that somehow some drop shipping wizards have figured out that you can stick 3,000 to 25,000, depending on which you buy, of these legally obtained backups, which they must have licensed from the original devs and publishers. You can stick all these legally obtained backups on a tiny little thing about the size of a Game Boy and take them on the go.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen these all around, going on through with TikTok advertisements and stuff like that, and live streams of people selling these and pitching
What the
these
hell?
like they're on the home shopping network. I've seen them everywhere.
Like, okay, like it's one thing for all of us to wink, wink, nudge, nudge, legally obtain backups. We're all like preserving retro games on these ROMs for preservation.
Yes.
I have thousands of my legally obtained backups preserved in ROM format. But
Right.
would you ever try and sell them?
No.
No. The ROMs? No.
I'm like,
That sounds highly illegal, if you ask me.
this is live.
I'm not a lawyer.
No.
No.
I don't know. Does either of you have experience with these things?
Well, yeah, just like Curb said, I've seen them like everywhere, man. You see them in the malls. Like,
Oh, they sell them at the malls.
yeah, dude, like at those little stands. And
Whoa.
there's one I always see when we go to San Diego, and there's like sometimes it's like I don't even want to call it like a farmer's market. It's just like a few stands up in like
a
Old
flea
Town.
market type of
Yeah,
type
like
of
a
thing?
little flea market, and there's always the end. At the very end, it's like an NES one, and it's like 800 games, and the guy's just there like playing the games, and like, because what else is he gonna do while he waits for people to ask about it?
Does it look like a Nintendo?
It looks similar to a Nintendo,
Yeah.
and like I gotta say, man, like I don't even know how I ended up with one of these, but I have one.
Whoa.
Like
What?
one of these like cloneware consoles. And
Is that what they're called? Cloneware?
I heard somebody use that
Yeah.
term, so I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Like,
And go what?
it's probably a gift from like a well-meaning a relative or something, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because like I don't know how I ended up with it. It just looks like it kind of looks like an NES Mini, but not.
Right.
And it's like 500 games or whatever, and you like turn it on and you have like 30 Nintendo games, and then it's like chess and checkers and backgammon.
I saw one.
Oh,
They were
man.
listing the games, and it was like Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 3, Mario 4, Mario 5, Mario 6, Contra 1, Contra 2, Contra 6.
No way! They have Contra 6?
Dudes, those games don't exist.
Dude.
Well,
What has Japan been holding out from us, man?
Seriously.
Nothing except the excellent new Godzilla movie, which you should all go see.
Yes. I heard it's really good.
It is. I saw it last night. Sorry for the non sequitur. I'll tell you my first experience with illegally obtained backups for all. I used to rent video games because I couldn't afford to buy most of them.
Right.
So we'd go to the video store and they had the NES section. And one time I saw this cartridge that said 52 in 1. I'm like, do I want to rent one game or 52?
Wow.
No.
Oh man. It's like not ready for primetime video games.
You know what's funny? You actually still see some of those things on like Walmart shelves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like these CD packs with like so many games and stuff on them.
Yeah.
And they look like they use like 90s graphics for their cover art on these packages. And
Amazing.
It's like, yeah,
like
just
I got to show you something. You can't see this if you're listening to the podcast or even if you're watching the YouTube, but I'm going to show in the Discord video this Famicom cartridge that
my God.
my good friend AA Wallace gave me, and it's a legally obtained clone of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game. And
Wow.
there's no logo, but what's crazy is the ROM when you fire it up, it's like the arcade, the NES TMNT arcade game, but with no logo on the screen. Somebody's like, well, they can't sue us if they don't know what we got.
Wow.
This must just be a blank game.
through the annals of
Yeah.
gaming history.
So Jimmy, you have
yourself a treasure there.
You have one or a couple of these things?
I have a couple. So like the second one, I know how I got it, and it was from a relative. But it's like a Sega Genesis Mini.
Okay.
And it looks legit, man. Like it looks really legit.
Does that have HDMI? Is that how is it just a modern thing?
It was like from like 10 years ago or something. Which I know, HDMI, but it wasn't HDMI at the time. And
So just ketchup, mustard, mayo cables?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was pretty interesting because on this one though, there's a slot where you could insert your actual cartridges and they work. And then it also, yeah, dude, it also says like 100 games or whatever, and it's the same thing. It's like 30 games and then a bunch of random crap. But like, what's funny about it, like if that wasn't funny enough, it has two like quote wireless controllers. And so I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
But they're like freaking TV remotes. You have to point them at the console or else they don't work.
See, there's like infrared, like directional,
Yeah.
You have to keep it pointed there in order for the signal to actually have any wow.
You have to point them at the console. So like as soon as you get comfortable, you fucking dead. Like you just die on the game you're playing.
It's like which one of us is gonna have the dead arm first before we kick each other's ass.
It's so good. But like what's cool about it is there's also slots to plug in original controllers too. So like it's pretty sweet, man. And it's like super
win-win.
tiny. Yeah, so like you could just take it and plug in your own controller and you're good to go, man.
Wow.
That one's pretty sweet.
Okay, so the ones I've seen, I've seen a few of them. Okay, so the first thing I saw were the little handheld thing, and it looks like a Game Boy, but it has like the 4 like buttons on the front, like a SNES controller, but it has like 2 sets of like bump like triggers on the back,
like the L2 R1,
but they're like in a row. It looks like a Kit Kat basically of triggers. I saw the video. I don't remember who it was, but somebody made a video about like, are these any good? And it came with like this fancy software that like basically has all the logos and all the like the art for the games and stuff, and like not just like console games, but arcade games, computer games, like old DOS games, and like the system. It looks really amazing, but I think very few of the games actually worked when he tried it.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, I don't know. Like, and then I was down in the comments. I'm like, do people like what do people think about this?
Yeah.
And some guys are like, oh yeah, that's just a low end one. I've got the high end one. It works fucking great. I can play PS2 games on this one.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And you know,
there's been like a huge explosion of these particular kinds of items like in the past couple of years.
Well, even Steam Decks, right? People are turning those into handheld retro consoles and stuff like that. But I just think it's funny that people are selling them preloaded with games.
Yeah.
And like, there's not really much you can do because they're just drop ship from probably China. And when they try and shut down one of them, it's like another one will open up and
2 more tickets place.
Yeah.
It's like a Hydra.
Yeah. But not only that, like you can go on Amazon and buy a 2 terabyte hard drive. I have this link here that I'm looking at. 100,000 games, USB 3.0, and it's just plug and play, and it just all works off of a hard drive. You just plug it into your computer.
Might be dubious at least for probably a large chunk of those games anyway.
Well,
so
I mean,
where's the link?
Yeah, right. but seriously, they're just all running RetroArch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's probably using the same stuff that we're using, maybe just like not the updated version, and maybe not the greatest versions of these ROMs, but like hardware is hardware and ROMs are ROMs. So I don't know, like I guess if I didn't know anything about downloading stuff or like where to find legally obtained backups, I could see myself saying, well, what the heck? This is 100,000 games on a hard drive. What do I've got to lose? I can return it if it doesn't work. So that's like sort of mid, like the low end is like $29.99 for like a composite out, like analog out NES with some weirdo controllers, and then the little handhelds, which you can buy for under $100 now. I've seen them for as cheap as $60.
I've seen them out there. Like I was surprised they're as cheap as they are.
Right.
For what some of these are capable of. Now, I mean, let me be clear. Let me be on the record kind of here. I have no problem with the devices themselves and what their capabilities are. And for me, I draw the line with prepackaged ROMs because more than likely you didn't license them.
Definitely.
Wow. I mean,
almost guarantee.
It's a weird subject though, right? Because like, how many people have licensed ROMs? If we're being honest, right? It's like, I guess I'm not trying to sell my legally obtained backups. But but what's crazy is that like it can go way higher end than that. Like people sell like even like a stand-up arcade console that sorry, I gotta turn my notifications off on Discord somehow. People are selling like these custom consoles for thousands of dollars with all these same ROMs in, and like if you're like some rich dude with a like a games room, it's like, oh, I'll just buy this for the family or for my friends when they come over, and it's like there's so many different solutions for these like turnkey all-in-one retro gaming stations. I don't know. But to tell you the truth, it kind of got me thinking about like, well, maybe I could just roll my own. And because my problem is like, I kind of want to play on every computer I have. And then I also have consoles, and some consoles you can actually like load ROMs over Wi-Fi.
Oh, wow.
Like, what is it? Like a Mister, for example, you could load stuff wirelessly. And even some like ODE drives are going to have or already do have Wi-Fi support. So like if you put I think the Saturn is going to have one soon. So you get your Saturn, you get your optical disc emulator, which is basically like you rip out the optical drive and you put something that takes SD cards.
Mhm.
And there's this thing that I found out about called retro NAS. And like, are you guys like
Ooh.
computer savvy? Like, you know what a NAS is? Like,
Yeah, network attached storage.
yeah, like I've got one for my like backups for like my music stuff. But
I've thought about investing into one personally.
yeah, there's somebody came out with this thing called retro NAS,
Oh,
and it's it's this it's basically a Debian Linux thing that you store all your ROMs on, and
okay.
it can serve them up to basically anything in your network. And that
Interesting.
includes like consoles, misters, computers, and even like vintage computers, like a Commodore 64 or like a Windows 3.1 computer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, is it just the storage, or is it also like a front end, like launch box or something?
It's the Linux like file server thing. I don't know enough about it, but like it's basically it's basically just a bunch of packages that auto install that you can put on a Raspberry Pi, or you can put on like an old computer and just turn it into a file server. But the thing is, you can't just put it on your regular NAS because it's super insecure. Like it uses all the old protocols that like are not safe. So you can't even really attach it to the internet, I don't think. I don't know. I'm not the expert on it, but like I kind of want to do this because like this would be really fun just to like
something
have
to look
everything
into
ready to
for
go.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's all I got about these retro turnkey things. I just think what a crazy world we live in right now, where that is just normal. Anywho.
Yeah.
What do you got for us today, Curb?
Well, I've got some, got a little bit of interesting. Well, we've already talked about the console mod there, but I wanted to talk something about the community that's kind of happened recently, and this is involving Tetris. So it's been, so someone actually beat Tetris, and when I mean someone beat Tetris, I mean someone got a kill screen in Tetris. And this wasn't supposed to happen when the game was originally designed, but.
So we're talking the NES version of Tetris?
NES and NTSC version of Tetris. Yeah, we're talking about that.
Okay.
So there's a 13-year-old kid called Blue Scooty who beat the NTSC version of NES Tetris into a kill screen, which basically is crashing the game. And he was the first to do so, and he did it live on stream too. So it's out there on YouTube. Yeah. Wow. And so now this has already been done before with tool assisted speed runs, or TAS for short, for those who may be familiar with it. So it's known that it was bound to happen, but it was almost thought to be nigh impossible to do until the advent of a new technique on playing Tetris called rolling. I don't know if you're familiar with rolling.
No. It's like tapping. Is that I know.
Yeah, tapping. It's tapping the back of the controller gently with your fingers, like in a rolling fashion, to simulate, to rapidly press left or right on the controller. That was developed back in 2020 by a competitor named Cheese. So as these techniques kept getting refined, and people started practicing more with it. The limits on what was possible with older style controls in Tetris were getting transcended. And so closer and closer it got where you can now decently max out the high score of 99, 99, 99. And now you can go beyond that and transcend the limit to the point where
to stop you.
Yeah.
How far have people got before this kid did this? Like, was it close
to like level
to the kill screen?
30? Yeah, they can get to the kill screen, and it just this
No, I mean like before the world like before somebody just beat the game. Like how close could a player had a player actually got?
Probably like level 129 or something like that.
Okay.
And this kid did it at level 157.
Wow.
He would practice like 5-6 hours a day, and then just went at it. Just once they figured out it was possible to do it with this rolling technique, people just started going for it.
Imagine what it's like to peak at 13 years old.
Right. He also sorry about that. This kid also placed 3rd place at the Tetris World Championships, by the way. So he's very highly skilled. Yes, 3rd place. He didn't win. But what's great about this community, and this is what I love about the Tetris community, they cheer each other on. Like when, if one person loses, they're going to be cheering for their other competitors. You don't see that in a lot of tournaments and tournament communities as well. Right. But the Tetris community I found to be one of the most inclusive, self-cheering, group of people I've ever researched about.
Yeah.
And the 2023 champion, whose name is Justin Yu, goes by Fractal. He was streaming, and then his chat told him, "Hey, Blue Scooty's going for the kill screen." He's like, "Dude, I'm tuning in and I'm watching this." And he witnessed that happen live. And once it happened, he was so happy for Scooty. He was so happy for him.
That's amazing.
Like he was also going for the kill screen as well. He was trying for this milestone at the same time that Scooty was, and he didn't do well. He didn't do it, and he's like, "Scooty's going for it. Let's watch him." And he's like so happy for him when he made it.
Is there a way to what's next? I guess
right.
There's no could you maybe hack the game to have a later kill screen?
It's entirely possible that because I think there's still maybe some other milestones to go, like maybe higher levels before you hit a kill screen, because it's not guaranteed that at a certain level you hit a kill screen. There's a percentage chance of it happening within a certain amount of lines that you get. It's all laid out in spreadsheets. There's a YouTuber called a Game Scout that kind of lays this out on how it's done in more detail than I can really explain. I recommend you guys check him out. He's also been competing as well.
What do you think the chances are of Tetris speedruns incoming?
Oh, I'm sure
10 years, things are going to be so advanced. These little babies are going to be speedrunning till the kill screen. I got the kill screen.
Yeah, and the competition in these games is just getting younger and younger. Younger people are competing in Tetris and this old version of Tetris more and more every day.
It brings me to something that I wanted to talk to you guys about, especially Jimmy, because Jimmy's here. Jimmy's our resident Mega fan. I know that you love Mega Man as well, Curb.
Yeah.
Jimmy is an avid fan of Mega Man Maker and tests some of the race levels for the NRS stuff.
Yeah.
And on the other end of human progress going forth and somebody getting the kill screen in Tetris, amazing reaction time, just the human evolution is before our eyes right now. You're also watching somebody named Scuba de-evolve to the pack where I don't have the reaction time to play the games that I want anymore. So I was playing Mega Man the other day, and I've been having a lot of fun with these NRS race week levels, but I played week 4 on Friday, I think it was, or was it Thursday or Friday? And it was version week, and Jimmy, to his credit, he's like, "I'm warning you, man, this is a rough week." And I'm like, how bad gonna be? The first level took me I think almost half an hour to beat. And I'm not sure, is this
there?
Yeah, is this just, because I felt like I was getting better at Mega Man Maker, and then this happens.
So I just want to say that one of the funniest things though about this situation was I had just listened to your guys' last pod.
Yeah, I know.
Where you said my game of the year or whatever is Mega Man Maker, and then 4 days later you're like, I'm not playing this anymore. And so like I thought that was hilarious, but I mean it's just with Mega Man it's tough, man, because it really is there's a lot of reaction in there. It's it's a tough game at heart. Like the games are tough. So like it's reaction, learning, tech. There's a lot of things in there that I don't think you really like, Scoops. So like,
but I like playing the game.
Yeah, so like
I just want to be good at the game that I like to play, and
yeah. I mean, just like anything, you practice, man. But yeah, it's not.
I play more video games than either of you. I play 5 days a week for at least 3 hours on a stream, plus more gaming. I was thinking about this. I practice video games way more than anyone I know, and I'm just getting worse, and it's just a fact of life, I think.
So like there's I mean, but you're not focusing on, like, you're saying you play for 5 days a week, but you're not playing Mega Man. You played Mega Man for the last time before Mega Man Maker, what, 2 years ago? Like when you played through them?
I mean, I play video games in general. Like that should count towards reaction time. You can't practice reaction time.
Well, I mean, reaction time, okay, that like right, you can't practice that, but like if you're doing like you do a lot of Mario Kaizo and you do really well in that. Mario Kaizo is also a lot of like remembering certain moves and like the script, and the games that don't have the script are going to be tough. Like even G&G, like there's a point of a script there. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's all script. It's like you just gotta learn the patterns and the whatever, and it's like then it's just execute.
Yeah.
But the way I play Kaizo, it's like it's not. I mean, it's in a way like I could play Mega Man, and I do play Mega Man like this. It's like I have to, with Kaizo stuff, it's a rhythm. It's sort of like I'm learning the song, and the song has a rhythm to it, and it's just sort of like I'm just counting and just you guys watch me play it, and it's not learn to react to this. It's like do it the same every single time in this pattern. And then eventually you'll get it. So I think like I've had this I maybe have this false sense of I'm good at platformers because of that.
I think you're good at a certain type of platformer, like really good at it. Like even G&G and like, okay, so going back, I did, this is why I hit you up when you're like my retro game of the year was Castlevania 3, and I rage quit Castlevania 3. I got to Drac and I rage quit that game because that was very like a script. You learned how to play that song and you played it. You kept doing it, and I'm like, I don't want to I want to have a chance to do this my way, and it wasn't going to work that way, so I gave up on it. And I think you're very good at certain types of games, but Mega Man. Mega Man's, you got to think fast. You got to remember the tech. You got to be like, you're in a jump and you're like, oh yeah, I need to like do this thing. You pause, switch to the weapon, you do the thing.
Like, how often do you play Mega Man Maker?
Honestly, like right now, it's just when I'm like testing or like if I play it on stream.
Yeah.
That's the only time I really play it these days. Like I don't play it off stream. But remember, like, Mega Man's my favorite game series of all time. I grew up playing Mega Man, so
I thought that was your advantage until I'm like, well, I don't know all the weaknesses to all the bosses, and you're like, oh, they're different. They're different in Mega Man Maker. It's not. You can't even go by that. I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah, because you're like, yeah, I don't know what this guy's weak to. I don't remember. I'm like, Scoobs, the level creator decides what they're weak to, so it's gonna be probably something that they give you in the level.
Ancient knowledge has no power here.
In that case, it was not. It was the hidden secret thing.
Yep. It was the one you missed.
I'll go fuck myself. Okay, so wrapping up, because I don't want to, talk about my, declining muscle memory, senses, eyesight, or anything for too much longer. But if you could give me some tips on how I can get better at Mega Man Makers, other than just play it more.
other than just play it more. Focus on okay, just like a maker game. It's a maker game, right? So like you've played plenty of Mario Maker, not all creators are created equal. So if you're playing good creator levels, pay attention to the weapons you have and remember the things it taught you in the levels, because sometimes there'll be like a moment where you're like, okay, you read the screen, it's like dash jump is enabled, and then you see a large gap. It's like, okay, you got to dash jump across that,
Right.
and then just like remembering like these techniques that they give you. And like somebody said in your stream, Mega Man Maker is like a culmination of 11 different games. Well, now they've included Game Boy stuff. So we're talking like 16 different games, different bosses, different tech. The tech that's in Mega Man Maker, they've added tech to weapons that like really kind of sucked before.
Right.
So there's a lot to learn, and really you got to play it and you got to utilize the weapons and really see what they do and what they teach you.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just play the game more by that information. But
so would you say, I have a question here. Would you say like the NRS levels, that were kind of being released are kind of like the Lost Levels kind of version difficulty of the community basically?
Well, there's a culmination, and it really depends, because version week was a tough week. And to explain what that was, Mega Man Maker is on version 1.8 currently. And so version week was going through the different versions of Mega Man Maker, the assets, the bosses, the weapons, and the jank. Because just like any Maker game, as soon as it comes out, there's a lot of jank, a lot of bad creators. So it was kind of taking you through, a trip through memory lane. So that was a little more tough. It is a speedrun tournament, but I mean, I think just even from what Scoob said before, like he was having a lot of fun with it before that week. So I think the first couple of weeks were a lot more welcoming to new players or people not too familiar with Mega Man in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was a tough week. I mean, there's no way around it. It was a tough week, but
are these levels curated or just, submissions basically, and then it just gets all compiled?
So we have like with NRS, there's like a group of creators. So it's mostly the same creators. There's a couple of guests, but like these do go through multiple iterations. Like the levels aren't just like, drop and you play them. They go through testing. They go through testing. I test them, and sometimes recommendations don't get in there. Depending on like, it's a lot of work for these guys. It's a ton of work that goes into this, the time crunch and everything that goes along with this.
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff just doesn't get fixed, if you want to put it that way. But
creators, fix your levels.
Yeah. So like, there's a lot of hard work that goes into it, but it is a lot of really well-known creators in the community, and some are tougher than others, man. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I will keep playing. I'm going to try week 5 eventually, because I want to get to Retro Week, which is what I was looking forward to. And if I could just, make a hope that if I could make a wish, it's that, because the reason I started doing it again is because Homebee said we're trying to make it more accessible to new players. So I hope they will continue to do that, because the more people that they can get playing the game, the better it's going to be for everyone, I think.
Right.
So,
exactly.
So let's keep going with Mega Man Maker for sure.
Heck yeah.
So let's wrap up. I think we don't want to go too long tonight. What games do you guys have in your to-do list? What's coming up? What are you planning? What are you looking forward to playing in the near future, Jimmy?
In the near future, are we talking like stream wise, or are we talking personal wise?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
So one game that I played recently, I played this over. I had the week of Christmas off from work, so I saw what is it? Ori and the Blind Forest.
That's a fun game.
Saw it on sale for like $6, man.
It's a beautiful game. I think you'll enjoy it.
I played it during that week, and man, I don't know, like the first 10 minutes. I'm like crying. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be a good game, man. This is gonna be a good game.
Oh,
I'm like crying because it was just, it pulls at the heartstrings. So I've had the Will of the Wisps like downloaded for probably 2 years because I saw
Also
it on
a really
sale,
good
and I'm
game.
like, yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna play this until I play the first one. So Will of the Wisps, personal, I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be another game for me. And yeah, in terms of stream, I don't know, man. There's things on the bucket list. Like I'm doing Guacamelee 2 right now.
I saw that. That looks
Yes.
amazing.
That looks
It's
fun.
so good, dude. Like I played Guacamelee 1, was it 2022 or something at the end?
Right.
And I don't know why I held off for so long on this one, but it's so fun, man. It's just like beat 'em up Metroidvania, just very silly, but
The art style and the humor is just silly, and I love
yeah,
it.
man. Like it doesn't take itself seriously in
No.
the plot. It takes itself seriously in the gameplay. It's so good, man.
That's rad.
It's so fun.
I
So
love
yeah,
games
that's
like that.
that's what I have right now. And then I don't know, on the agenda, we'll figure it out. Like I gotta go comb through the retro archives and see what I haven't done yet.
For sure. For sure. Curb, what about you? After you finish Wonder, is there a game you're looking at?
One of 2 games I'm looking at to play on stream. One of which would be Metroid Prime Remastered.
Oh,
Okay.
dude.
Yes, I got that. That was my other game that came in the mail the other day. Was Metroid Prime Remastered. I also bought another game on my bucket list that I wanted to play, which is Sea of Stars.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, I haven't
play
started
that
it.
I'm going to play that on stream.
That's a bucket list.
And then I'm going to go into the Retro Archive a bit. I haven't figured out what I'm going to play in the Retro Archive, but I want to try and pick some games that I, would be interesting to play to completion that I've never played before. So haven't decided that yet, but it will be coming as I'll be streaming a lot more this year. I'll have more opportunities for that.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna be playing Dragon Quest V, I think, for the next months, apparently, because it's a long ass game. But I'm so happy to be playing that game. Like you guys have seen that game. It looks so amazing. It's
especially with the HD packs on it, man.
It's just such a vibe. Like not just the HD pack. It's just like the whole game is just designed so beautifully. Like the dungeons, like the way they're kind of mazy but not too mazy, is just really interesting. And the combat it's getting more interesting. It was mostly just mashing the circle button at the start. But I was so happy to realize that, this new guy started watching my streams. I'm like, oh, it's nice to have a new viewer. Seems to really like Dragon Quest. Turns out he's the translator, sorry, I don't mean to misgender. They're the translator for this game. Like, they did the PS2 fan translation.
Nice.
Gerb. Yeah. So shout outs to Gerb. I would love to talk to Gerb on the show someday.
That's
because
great.
How hard must that be to translate not only any game, but a long ass RPG like Dragon Quest V?
All the NPCs and characters that you have to deal with.
Right? The extra dialogue and stuff, man. That's a heck of a workload to do.
Totally.
And for fan translation.
And there's all this extra dialogue that I just realized, like he's like 2/3 of the game, they're like 2/3 of the game. The dialogue is just you talking to your party member after you talk to an NPC, and your party member has something to say about that. Which is so cool. It's like that's such deep context for the story. So I'm going to finish that up, and then I think I'm finally going to do Dark Souls, which at this point is a retro game.
Might as well be, yes.
Yeah.
So I do want to say one thing I forgot, that Curb should be delighted, and Scoobs will probably be happy too. Okay. This year I do want to stream the remaster of Super Mario RPG.
Sick.
I think you will have a wondrous time. Have you ever played the original before or no?
I've played the original. It's probably like over 10 years ago, so I remember very little. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I think you will have a wonderful time playing the remaster.
And we will have a wonderful time watching you. Jimmy, where can we find you on the internets?
On the internets, twitch.tv/Jimmichanga88.
All right.
And
we'll have that linked in the description for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jimmy, thanks so much for being on the show. It's always such a delight to have you in here, and we always laugh our faces off and talk about some interesting stuff. So please come back anytime.
Yes.
And Curb, always
sir.
great to hang with you on the podcast.
Always. It's always good to always chat with the both of you.
Awesome. Well, let's leave it there, and we'll be back next week for more retro gaming news and hot takes and content and whatever else we can think of to fit into like an hour-ish of a show. But until then, thanks for listening and keep on gaming.
Keep on gaming.
Keep on gaming.